Hello and welcome back to Cvtb. My name is Chris Simonian.
And my name is Pauline Teskey. Today's Thursday, April 11th. With that said, let's get started with the general announcements.
In local news, Rosemont PTA recognized 6 deserving teachers, staff, and community members as its February Founders Day event. In addition, the Golden Oak PTA's most prestigious award was presented to music director Rod Yonkers. Also receiving awards were Margie Fester, Jessica Cole, Jennifer Zimmer, Karen Bomer, and Craig Duncan. School board members Mary Boger, Greg Kokorian, and Christine Walters were on hand to congratulate the recipient. The evening was a tremendous success, said Neda Farmood, Rosemont PTA Founders Day chair. It was an outstanding turnout for our Founders Day event.
In national news, Connecticut's powerful offense scored almost at will Tuesday night as the Huskies blew out Louisville 93-60 to win the NCAA Division I Women's Basketball Championship in New Orleans. The title is head coach Gino Auriemma's 8th at UConn, tying him for the most of all time with Tennessee's recently retired Pat Summitt. The 33-point margin is the largest in the history of the tournament final. Breanna Stewart led the Huskies scoring with 23 points. She also had 9 rebounds and 3 assists. Louisville was led by Sarah Hamid's 15 points and 5 rebounds. The Cardinals' vaunted Schimmel sisters Shoni and Jude combined for 16 points.
In international news, Metachem Bonder is a soft-spoken 73-year-old who thinks carefully before he describes his first memory as a 3-year-old child. I remember my mother, what she was wearing, a green skirt with white flowers and a white blouse, he says in Hebrew. On the left, there was a bed, and my brother was sleeping. I remember I had a brother until a few months ago. Bodner had no evidence his brother even existed. Bodner is a survivor of Auschwitz and was a 4.5 when the camp was liberated in January 1945. In the chaos and confusion, he doesn't remember how he came to separate from his brother, but he sought a way out. I was in the camp. A man came in who was looking for his wife and daughter. He recalls, I stood before him and asked him if he would be my father. He picked me up and took me in his hands and took me out of the camp. His adopted father named him Bodner and took him to Israel, where he now lives over the years. His father searched for his adopted son's birth family. At first, there were some positive responses, but after, a number of false hopes. Bodner gave up a painful process of trying to find his family and began to wonder if his memories were simply dreams.
In sports news, the Brooklyn Nets are losing one of their biggest names as they prepare for the playoffs. Jay-Z owned just a little piece of the team, but was a large presence when the franchise changed homes and identities this season. The rapper is selling his stake in the Nets so he can become certified as a player agent, possibly before the end of the season. The process is underway with paperwork already filed. A person with knowledge of the details said Wednesday. Jay-Z attended only a handful of games this season, but his affiliation with the franchise provided a necessary buzz for its first season in Brooklyn. He sat in his courtside seat next to wife Beyoncé in November when the Nets beat the Knicks in their first matchup as New York rivals, providing the trash talk afterward when he tweeted that the city was under new management.
And lastly, in entertainment news, Lindsay Lohan's lawyer accuses prosecutors of leaking details of her case to certain sources, which he says result in an inaccurate report about where the actress will go for rehab. Mark Heller, who is himself being investigated for alleged witness tampering in Lohan's probation violation case, called for an investigation of the Santa Monica and Los Angeles city attorneys. It's horrible because Lindsay Lohan or any defendant should be able to feel that their privacy is being protected. Heller told CNN on Wednesday after TMZ reported Lohan would check into the Seafield Center in West Hampton Beach, New York, for her court-mandated 90 days of substance abuse rehabilitation next month. It impacts the integrity of the legal system in California, said Heller, a New York lawyer. Well, that is all from us from Cvtb.
Thanks for watching.
And we'll see you next week.